Hey there, LBT Squad. I'm your host, Alex Pop, and it's been 6 months since the initial US release of The Land Before Time 14 Journey of the Brave, and in those months, I've been getting numerous messages from you guys asking me if I know whether or not The Land Before Time 15 is going to be made. And believe me, I've been watching like a hawk for any news of a 15th movie. You will not believe how tiring it is to Google The Land Before Time 15 twice a day, and all you get is fanfiction. As of right now, there is no word, but you can rest assured that on the day the news gets out, I'll be getting on top of it like there's no tomorrow. Now, I can't guarantee that that will happen, but in this video, I'll be presenting the evidence there could be for either possibility. As I've stated a few times before, the financial success of Journey of the Brave is likely the key factor to the series' continuity, as confirmed to me by Arya Curzon, who said that if the movie is a success, then the future of the series is looking hopeful. The unfortunate thing is that because the Land Before Time movies aren't hugely anticipated theatrical blockbusters, news on how Universal feels about the commercial and financial results of the movie are unlikely to be seen. So, I can only speculate based on the numbers I can gather. So according to thenumbers.com, Journey of the Brave has sold over 200,000 copies to bring in $3.1 million in the USA alone. I can't find anything on the dollars in other countries, so to include everywhere else in the world, let's just estimate 4 million worldwide. Now, The Land Before Time 12, The Great Day of the Flyers, has been out for almost 10 years now, and has made roughly 9 million. So in just 6 months, Journey of the Brave has made almost half of what The Great Day of the Flyers made in its entirety. Of course, with time, the sales rate is going to decrease, but I'd still call that a pretty solid start. What's even better news is that the movie is no longer a Walmart exclusive. It's been seen at Safeway, Fred Meyer, Target, Kmart, Best Buy, Hastings, and Barnes & Noble, so it may have just been warming up. But even with the financial success of the movie, something else that should be taken into account is whether Journey of the Brave was made with the intention of being the last one, the only evidence of which we could gather from the movie itself. If the filmmakers intend for an installment to conclude a series, they'd want to end it on a big, profound, satisfactory note that leaves no loose ends untied. Unless they're the makers of Paranormal Activity: The Ghost Dimension. As established before, I feel that the ending of Journey of the Brave was too abrupt, but there are a few lines from the narrator at the end that are kind of heavy. This could mean nothing, but he says that Littlefoot had come to the realization that he and his friends would always be together till the end of their days. Till the end of their days is kind of a weighty phrase, and it does come across as somewhat conclusive. Also, the last line of the movie is a title drop, till the end of their days in The Land Before Time, although The Wisdom of Friends also ended with a title drop, so it's possible it's just a new tradition. Speaking of The Wisdom of Friends, many fans, including myself, had credited the failure of that movie as the reason that the series came to its hiatus. However, it likely had more to do with the fact that Comcast bought Universal Studios from MCA Incorporated in 2009. Really? You sold a distributor to Comcast? Why, MCA? So because of the change of company, the run the series was on came to a halt. So what exactly triggered it again? Well, it seems reasonable to think that The Land Before Time works as the alternative for the audience that's too young for Jurassic Park. Think about it. Journey of the Brave, the first Land Before Time movie in almost a decade, came out 1 year after Jurassic World. And similarly, The Land Before Time 2, The Great Valley Adventure, came out 1 year after Jurassic Park, which I think is definitely more than a coincidence. So when Universal brought out Jurassic World, it makes sense that they'd think, well, we better jumpstart the other dinosaur franchise that brought in the bucks. By that logic, it does look pretty promising for a future for The Land Before Time, because in upcoming years, we're going to be getting at least 2 more Jurassic Park movies. And this leads me to my last point. I have a theory that no franchise will ever truly die. There's always going to be that potential of it being revived. Last year alone, we got more Jurassic Park, as said, and also for the first time in several years, more Star Wars, Terminator, and Mad Max. Studios are always going to come back to franchises that were popular in the past, because audiences are quicker to see something that they already have a connection with than something entirely original. If I were to elaborate, I feel like I'd just be copying the nostalgia critics, so if you want a better idea of what I'm talking about, go watch his editorial on why nothing is original anymore. Anyway, out of the top 10 highest grossing films of 2015, the only one that was completely original work was Inside Out, and of course, people flocked to the theaters to see that because of the reputation of Pixar. Same goes for the year before. The only movie in the top 10 was Interstellar, due to the well-known genius of Christopher Nolan. So it's clearly evident that sequels and adaptations are what sell the best. While we're on the subject, I'd like to spark some excitement in fan bases out there. You want to know some franchises that are being resurrected? In the near future, we'll be getting The Goonies 2, High School Musical 4, Indiana Jones 5, The Return of Mary Poppins, and a Hey Arnold movie that'll pick up right where the TV series left off 12 years ago. For more info on that, you can check out Anndi McAfee's channel in the description below. And by the way, yes, I know I've been saying her last name wrong all this time. It's McAfee, not McAfee. Well, at least I never referred to her as Dina Metcalf. You know, the way John Travolta would pronounce it. But then the thing to fear about these franchises never dying is them eventually winding up in the wrong hands. Because then we get The Last Airbender, Gem and the Holograms, Free Willy 4, The Neverending Story 3, and Gah! What did they do to you, Bob and Larry? Of course, The Land Before Time did reach that stage when it wound up in the hands of Jamie Mitchell. But with Journey of the Brave, I think Cliff Ruby and Elena Lesser really gave their best efforts to write a good story and character arcs. So as long as there are people who care as much as they did, and they remember to keep yellow-belly Barney rejects out of the picture, I believe that The Land Before Time is sure to prosper. So, when all's said and done, I'll conclude all these points by saying that I am moderately confident that there will be more Land Before Time movies. But, that being said, I could very well be wrong. And if that is in fact the case, and the series has run its course, then I will be disappointed because there are still a lot of places I'd like to see it go, and characters I'd like to see return. In fact, a part of me hopes that it'll just never stop. But I do still need to realize that they are just movies. They are just fictional characters. They feel real, but there come times in life when you need to be able to separate your feelings from the truth. There's no denying the mark that it's left on me, but I have a life outside of this show. I have a life outside of The Land Before Time. You know, maybe you're perfectly okay with the thought of the series being over now, or maybe you find it really difficult to grasp, and either one is completely understandable. For me, it is a sad thought, but I'll just do what I did when we thought that the series had been over for 8 years, and that's move on with that life that I have outside of this series, and hold on to what The Land Before Time taught me. Never give up on life. Stay close to the ones you love. And keep pressing on to get where you're going. So, if the adventures of Littlefoot and his friends really are complete, then we take it for what it's worth. And it's worth a lot. We've made a lot of great memories with these movies, and this year, we got to make a few more. And you know, even if these movies have come to an end, our experiences with them have not. One of these days, we're going to be able to pass on all of those memories to our kids. And if these movies affect them the way that they affected us, they'll show them to their kids. And thus, the tales of Littlefoot and his friends' journey to the Great Valley, and all of their adventures following, will be passed on with every repeat of the Circle of Life. And that's kind of what makes The Land Before Time last forever. I'll be continuing with what I'm doing on this show soon, because there could still be more on the way. For all I know, there could be another movie in production right now, and they're just being secretive about it again. But for now, this is farewell to Littlefoot, Sarah, Ducky, Petrie, and Spike. As always, thanks for watching. I'm your host, Alex Pop. Catch you later.